Hey y'all, what's up? In this video, we're gonna be talking about going through a hard time and how to basically get through it. How to get through a very, very difficult, painful time in your life. Trust me when I say I know what it's like. I know what it's like to be in a place where you're in so much pain. I know what it's like to be in a place in your life where you don't know if you're going to make it out. I know what it's like to feel so much pain and so many different overwhelming feelings at once that you don't even really know how to go live every day, and not only live every day, but take every day head on and go talk to people, go to work, go to school, go do whatever you need to do. You don't know how to even go do like the simplest of things because life seems to really be challenging you right now, like I know what that's like. I know what it's like to be in a place where everything feels like a struggle and you're tired and you don't know if you can keep going, and it feels like every bone in your body wants to just stop, and all you want to do is lay in bed all day. All you want to do is cry all day. All you want to do is just do nothing. You just don't have the energy, the motivation. You don't have like the greatest of thoughts going on up in your head. Like, I know what that's all like. I know what it's like to be in that place. I know what it's like to be literally suffering and not know how to get out of it. I know what it's like to have challenge after challenge after challenge be thrown at you in life, and you feeling like it's never going to stop. You feeling like it's never going to end. You feeling like the entire world is just against you. You feeling like even God is against you. I know what that's like. I know what that fucking feels like. And I'm here to make this video to, one, make you feel not alone, but also to tell you what I have done in my life to help me get through those times. And I'm talking about times that I never thought I would get on the other side of. So trust and believe that what I'm about to tell you, it really is valuable information and advice, because this is literally what helped me get through some really, really, really challenging times in my life. And there were definitely times where I look back at everything that I had experienced. I look back at that time in my life. I look back at, the different times in my life where I was really struggling, and I look back at all that and I'm like, wow, I can't believe I got myself through that. Literally, I had nobody else there for me. Like, I had nobody else in my corner. I had nobody else helping me. Like, it was literally all just me and God, so like, I know how to get myself through very, very challenging experiences and through very, very painful, hard times. So the first thing I want to say is, like, I think it's very important to look at the situation that you're going through an outsider's perspective. And when I say outsider's perspective, you need to realize that you are not your feelings, you are not your emotions, and you are also not what you are experiencing. What you are experiencing right now, it's literally just an experience. It's literally just a story in your life. This is simply just a chapter in your life. And you need to realize that you are a soul experiencing the human experience. So you are not even this human. You are not even you. That's not even fully you. This is not even you. You are not this human that is experiencing whatever it is that you're experiencing, if that makes sense. You are the soul experiencing the human experiencing this experience. Does that make sense? So it is possible for you to kind of take yourself out of this, oh, everything is happening to me. Like, you as a human, that is not all there is to you. You are so much more than just this human body. You are so much more than just this human experience, okay? So the minute you realize that is the minute you can take yourself out of the human experience and realize that you are more than it. You are more than what is happening to you. There's a bigger picture here, okay? And when you realize that there's a bigger picture, you realize that, one, it's not all about you. It's not all about you. The reason why everything is happening to you right now, the reason why things are going the way they're going, it's not even all about you. It's about the spiritual journey. It's about how things are supposed to play out. It's about the bigger picture, So when you make it less about you and, oh, this is all happening to me. Oh, why is this happening to me? Why is this person so mean to me? Me. When you stop making it all about you, that's when the situation starts to feel a little bit lighter. It's like, okay, it's not all about me. It's not like God, the universe is attacking me. It's not like God has this like vendetta against me. It's not like I deserve this, whatever. It's simply just something that's happening, and it's not all about me. It's about the bigger picture. It's about God's plan, okay? And so you have to take yourself out of this whole looking at it from the human perspective and look at it from the soul perspective of like, why could this be happening? happening to the human body that I am currently, in right now, experiencing with right now, whatever you want to call it. Why is this happening? Approach it with more of a curiosity. Approach it from the observer's perspective of like observing how you're handling the situation, observing how you're reacting to certain things. How do you feel right now? Observing yourself experiencing whatever it is that you're going through instead of fully being immersed in it and experiencing what you're going through. Does that make sense? Yes, you're going to experience it regardless, but the situation becomes a lot lighter and you kind of ease up on yourself when you look at it from the soul's perspective and you realize that you're not just the human. Is this making sense? When you realize that you don't have to look at it from just the human perspective, because the human perspective is very limited and it can be very self-oriented. And when you're not as self-oriented, it kind of takes the pressure off a little bit. And it's also just super important to look at it from an observer's perspective because you realize that you're also not your feelings. So the feelings that you're feeling, you realize that these feelings are not you. They don't define you. And also your experiences do not define you. You are literally a never-ending evolving soul. You're a soul here on this earth experiencing the human experience. You're not the human, and so when you really look at it like that, it really helps, you get through this situation. And that takes me to my next point of everything is always changing. I made a TikTok video about this the other day, how it is literally impossible for you to be stuck in a bad place for the rest of your life. If you are feeling depressed, if you are feeling down right now, it is literally impossible for you to be stuck in that mental space. It is impossible for you to be experiencing whatever you're experiencing right now for the rest of your life. It is only a matter of time before things change. It is only a matter of time before your mental state changes, your feelings change, your experiences change. It's only a matter of time. So you need to stop making it this end all be all, this drastic thing like, oh my God, is it ever gonna end? Yeah, it's gonna end. It will end. It does end. Things change because literally the only thing that never changes is that everything changes. Everything is constantly changing. And we know that. You know that. You know that. If you're a human experiencing the human experience, you know that. How much change have you been through in your life? How many things have you experienced in your life and, seen change? How many things have you seen change in your life? How many friend groups have you gone through? How many life-altering experiences did you go through? How many breakups have you gone through? How many relationships have you been in? How many people have you seen grow up, change, evolve? Like, everything is always changing. You know what I'm saying? So it's just so important for you to remember that. It's so important for you to remember that it's impossible for things to remain the same. Okay? It's only a matter of time before things start to change. And I mentioned in my TikTok video, obviously, don't take this as, oh, I'm gonna just sit around and wait for things to change. No, obviously work towards a better life for yourself. Obviously make smart decisions. Try to remain positive and whatnot. Try to do the things that you should be doing as well. It's very important to keep doing that. But yeah, it's also just very important to know that feelings change, experiences change, and emotions change, and you are going to change, and life is going to change. Life is never ending change. Everything is always changing. So it's important to be honest with yourself about that and not let yourself go into that whole rabbit hole of like, oh my God, is my life gonna be like this forever? It's so easy to feel like it's never gonna stop, especially if you've been in a dark place for a long time. Trust me when I say I know what that's like. I was in a dark place for literally years. Like, I've been in very dark places for very long periods of time, and I know what it's like to feel like it's never gonna end. I know what it's like to not see the light at the end of the tunnel. But like, you have to first of all create the light. You have to know that the light is there, and you have to know that like, yeah, it's gonna change. It's gonna change. You just have to literally keep going. And I know that it sounds really cheesy, and I know that it sounds kind of annoying. Like, when you're going through that stuff, you don't want to hear, oh, the light is at the end of the tunnel. Just trust, just keep going, because sometimes that really just sounds like a punch in the gut, because you're like, yeah, well, I have been going for years. You know what I mean? I have been going for so long and nothing's changed yet. So it's like really important to just like know that it's still there and know that like change is coming. I know it might take a long time, but it will come. And as long as you're doing the things that you know you need to do in order to get to that light, in order to create some kind of change in your life, as long as you're doing the work and you know like, okay, if I keep doing XYZ, if I keep these healthy habits, if I surround myself with good people, if I love myself, if I do all these things, like, it's only a matter of time before things change. And it might take a minute for you to see the results, but like, as long as you're putting the work in and you're keeping the faith, things are gonna change. change. And even if you're not, like, that's another thing too that I'm saying is like, even if you're not putting the work in, which you should be putting the work in, you should be loving yourself, you should be doing good things for yourself. But even if you weren't doing that, things still would change. Like I said, it's literally impossible for things not to change in your life. You know what I mean? And the type of change that you experience, it definitely is somewhat up to you because you kind of dictate your reality. My camera just turned off because it like overheated, but basically, yeah, like I was saying, change is just inevitable and you have to realize that. And that can also kind of take some of the pressure off of like how you're feeling right now. Like that can help you kind of feel like, okay, maybe I can just chill, you know, maybe I can take a deep breath. Like this will pass. This will pass. It's like going through a breakup. You know what I mean? I've learned this a lot through going through hardships with certain people. It's like the way I feel right now, it will pass. And that's like the main thing that always gets me through heartbreak is I tell myself, because it's like super painful. You know what I mean? When you go through heartbreak, when you lose somebody in your life, when you go through a breakup, whatever, it's super, super painful. And sometimes the heartbreak is just so painful that like, it might sound dramatic, but like I almost can't bear it. You know what I mean? Like I've been through a lot of really bad heartbreaks in my life. And the main thing that always gets me through the heartbreak right when it happens, when I'm feeling like the worst pain, when I'm the most vulnerable, is I tell myself, okay, just be here now with these feelings. It sucks right now. It's painful right now, but you've been through this before. You know how it goes and you know that the pain goes away. And that in the moment doesn't take any of the pain away. You know what I mean? It's not like it makes the hard time any less harder necessarily, but it does make me feel better about the situation in the sense of like, I kind of bring myself a little bit of peace of mind knowing that, okay, it's gonna go away, it's gonna go away, it's gonna go away. Like that's literally what I just tell myself. And you gotta just be with yourself and sit with yourself in those feelings and tell yourself like it's gonna go away. It doesn't make the situation suck any less, but it does kind of provide a little bit of relief in the moment, you know, just telling yourself that. Okay, so this brings me on to my next point of knowing that there's beauty in the pain, there's beauty in the struggle. And not only that, but like this is happening for you. And it might not seem like it. It might not seem like you're going through all these hard things because God loves you, because God wants what's best for you. It might not seem like that, but in reality, like from what I've learned through my life experiences is that it really is happening for you. I'm still trying to like figure out if the struggles that you encounter in your life are more so things that God present to you so you can overcome them and turn it into something beautiful, or if it's more so struggles that you encounter simply because you're just encountering struggle throughout your life and you're presented with the opportunity to either take it and make it a good thing or take it and make it a bad thing. I really kind of have changed my perspective a little bit on that of like the struggles that you're encountered with, you can kind of choose what to do with it. It's kind of up to you because I've seen me and other people experience the same struggles and I've seen me do something with the struggle and then other people do a completely different thing with the struggle. I've seen people fall into a victim mentality. I've seen people get stuck in really bad cycles. You know, I've seen people take a struggle and not make it a good thing and they just want to come to this conclusion that their life is and that they'll never amount to anything and that they simply experience struggle because God hates them or God isn't real or whatever they want to believe in. But for me personally, whenever I've experienced a struggle in my life, I have always taken that and I've made it something better. So I feel like it's kind of something where it's like up to you really. You can make your struggles into something good. You can make your struggles into something that was a blessing. You can decide that. I feel like I've really changed my perspective on that. I used to think that God presented us with struggles for us, which I really do feel like God still does that. It's always an opportunity for us to grow. It's an opportunity for us to change in a positive way, but it's also an opportunity for us to change in a negative way. You know, it's an opportunity for us to, you know, maybe get caught up in things that we shouldn't really be getting caught up in, but it's kind of ultimately up to you of what you want to do with yourself and your life. I've made the decision in my life to take my struggles, take my suffering, take my pain, and look at it with a positive perspective, and, you know, kind of just like become a stronger person because of it. I chose to look at my pain. I chose to do the work. I chose to do a lot of the hard things that not a lot of other people are willing to do. And therefore, because of that, my life has become better, even though I have experienced a lot of hardship in my life and I've experienced a lot of up shit in my life, I've been able to turn it into something good. I've been able to turn it into something powerful because I chose to take it and heal it. I chose to heal myself. I chose to learn from my experiences, and I chose to grow. Not everybody is willing to do that. Not everybody is willing to change. Not everybody is willing to look at their pain and face it head on. Not everybody is willing to take their experiences and learn from their experiences. Not everybody is willing to do that because it's very hard. It's hard to look at things head on. It's hard to be honest with yourself. It's hard to do the work. You can take your hard experiences and make it something positive. So for example, me creating this YouTube video right now, this is something that I feel very passionate about. This is something that I love to do. This is something that I discovered through my hardships. Me creating content, I create gym videos, I create motivational videos, I post on TikTok, whatever. And like me creating those videos, me having that creative outlet to create videos or whatever, that was something that I discovered while I was going through a hard, challenging time. I also just have learned so many things about myself because I chose to learn from my experiences. I've become a very confident individual. I'm very sure of myself. I'm very, very strong. I know who I am. I know what I want to do in this life. I'm very intuitive. I know exactly where to go, where to be. I know how to listen to God. I know all of these things. I do all of these things. I show up for myself every day. I have respect for myself. I know my worth, and I know all of this because I took what I went through and I decided to learn from it, and I decided to reflect. I decided to reflect on myself. I decided to reflect on my experiences, and because of that, I now am very sure of myself. I know who I am, and not only that, but I am very confident at the age of 22. There's a lot of people who are not very confident at a young age. There are a lot of people who are not very wise at a young age, but I am wise at a very young age. I'm very confident and sure of myself at a very young age because I have been through so much in my life, and because I've been through so much hardship, and I decided to learn from it, and I decided to reflect on it, and I decided to do the work. That's why I am confident. That's why I know who I am. That's why I'm sure of myself. That's why I feel a very direct, clear path in my life. That's why I know exactly what I want to do. That's why I know exactly what to do in my life. That's how I know how to listen to God. That's how I know how to listen to myself, because I maneuvered my way through very, very hard times. And I maneuvered my way through hard times because I knew there was a light at the end of the tunnel, because I decided to tell myself that there was a light at the end of the tunnel. I created that light at the end of the tunnel. I made that. And I maneuvered my way towards that. But people who choose to look at their struggles in a negative way, people who choose to look at their life in a negative way, they will never believe that there is a light at the end of the tunnel, so they'll never get there. They'll never get there. You need to have hope. You need to believe that there is light. You need to believe that you're going through these things for a reason, or else you're going to remain stuck in a negative place in your life, and you will probably not get out. Like I said before, you will experience change. Change is inevitable, but the most positive change that you will experience, you're going to experience it because you create it, because you believe in it, because you believe that there is light, because you believe that there is better, because you believe that there is a better life for yourself, because you believe that you can do better. That happens when you believe. Your life will be better when you believe it can be better. You will be better when you believe you can be better. It's all about belief. It's all about hope. It's all about faith. And it's all about believing in yourself, and it's all about believing in God if you feel called to believe in God, whatever, that's up to you. That's your own thing. But for me personally, I know I would not have been able to get through these times simply by myself. I needed somebody else, and there was nobody in the physical that could give me the support that I needed. So what did I do? I reached out to the Most High. I reached out to God. I reached out to Source. I reached out to something that was physically not here. And that is something that really helped me get through these hard times, was God. And also myself, my higher self, spirituality. I don't know if any of y'all have been able to tell, but I'm a very, very spiritual person, like very spiritual. And that has helped me through a lot of hard times in my life, genuinely. Let's see what else I want to talk about. I guess like the last thing I want to talk about in this video is that there is beauty in your struggle. I feel like a lot of people really wish that life was this all puppies and rainbows, everything's fine, we're all good, People just wish that life was easy. Life is not easy, and that is the reality of it. Life is not easy. There are ups and downs. There are hard times. There are good times, and that's the reality of it, and you can't change it. You can't change the fact that there are so many ups and downs in life. You cannot change the fact that life is hard. There are going to be hard things that happen in life, and you can't change that. I feel like a lot of times people want to ignore their problems. People want to ignore the fact that hard things are going on. People want to ignore negativity. People want to ignore darkness. People want to ignore their darkness. darkness. People want to ignore their negativity. People want to ignore their negative thought patterns. People want to ignore their negative emotions. People don't want to face the truth. People do not want to face darkness. People do not want to face things that they don't want to face. And unfortunately in life, if you want to move forward, if you want a life for yourself where you feel genuinely content and genuinely happy with yourself and with your life, you need to face darkness. You need to face the things that you don't want to face. You need to sit with yourself in your feelings. You need to be honest with yourself, and you need to sit in your darkness. You need to face your darkness head on. There is so much beauty in struggle, and that's something that I've really learned. I used to be the type of person that wanted to run away from my struggles so much. I wanted to run from my darkness. I wanted to run from the pain, and that's very normal. Mostly everybody feels that way. Everybody wants to run from their pain. Everybody wants to run from their trauma. Everybody wants to run from the hard things. Everybody wants to run from so many different things. You know what I mean? So many people want to... My camera just overheated again, but like I was saying, there is so much beauty in the pain. I used to really be somebody that did not want to sit in so much of this uncomfortable pain. I didn't want to sit with my darkness. I didn't want to face all of the things that I knew I had to face. My traumas, my insecurities, my doubts, my fears. I didn't want to look at things in my life and, create change that I knew I needed to create. I didn't want to end relationships that I knew I had to end. I didn't want to do so many of these things. I didn't want to take action that I knew I had to take. I didn't want to do so many things. I didn't want to face my darkness. I didn't want to sit in it. I just wanted to run from it. But God created a time in my life where there was nothing to do but be in my pain. God threw so many things my way that made it impossible for me to run from it. God was like, okay, enough is enough. You want to choose this good life for yourself. You want to chase greatness. You want to achieve greatness. You want to achieve these goals. You want to become the highest version of you. Okay, great. I need to put you through all these tests first so you can look at your pain head on. So you can experience these experiences to become the best version of you. We have to go through hard things to learn about ourselves. We have to go through hard things to become a better version of ourselves. If we don't go through hard things, we're not challenged, and we're not challenged to become the best version of ourselves. We're not challenged to reflect, to learn, to grow. And so we need to go through those hard experiences to force change out of us. God will do that. If you choose to not change, if you choose to not look at your pain, if you choose to not sit in the darkness, if you choose to not face things head on, God will bring so many things to you in your life that are going to give you no other choice but to face those things head on, but to sit in the darkness, but to change. And so that's what happened in my life, and I'm very, very grateful for it now. During the time, it was extremely hard, and I'm still trying to get out of it, over it, whatever you want to call it. I think in all of that, though, I really, really connected with myself, and I found myself, and I found God, and I found meaning in myself. I found worth in myself. I found meaning in the way that I act and things that I do. And I found so much more respect for myself and love for myself. And I connected with myself on very, very deep levels. I connected with God on very, very deep levels because of what I was going through and because I was going through it all alone. I learned so much about myself. And not only that, but I feel like through so much of the darkness, I also became so inspired to help other people, so inspired creatively. I just really felt so inspired. And this could just be a personal experience that I experienced, but I really do feel like me sitting in my darkness, it sparked so much creativity, new insight, new perspective. And I think that that's such a beautiful thing. I think there's so much beauty in pain. There's so much beauty in the darkness. There's so much beauty in being in darkness and therefore gaining a different perspective in life that not a lot of other people have. Not everybody goes through hard shit. Not everybody goes through all the hard shit that you've been through. Sometimes there's people who go through a lot harder experiences. Sometimes there's people who experience a lot harder of a life than a lot of other people. Some people are not really meant to experience a lot of hard things in this life. And that's also something that I've learned. So if you're somebody who, has been through a lot of hard things, and you're somebody who has gotten through a lot of hard times, and you're somebody who has seen a lot of up shit in this life, just know that there's something special about you, and just know that God put you through those things because God knows that you could handle it. God knows that you were able to handle it. God knows that you were able to birth something amazing out of those experiences. God is with you. God is for real with you. The universe, whatever you believe in, is with you. There's something special to you. And I'm telling you this right now, that if you have experienced really, really hard things, if you've seen some crazy things in this life, if you have been hurt beyond measure in this life, if you've been through really fucked up shit, just know that like you have a certain perspective of this world, of this life that not everybody else has. You see things that not everybody else sees. And that's a gift. You have discernment, you have intuition, you have wisdom. You have this ability to see things in a way that not everybody can see things. You experiencing these experiences, it's forming you and shaping you into somebody that is going to be amazing. Somebody that is going to be absolutely beautiful. Not that you already aren't. Okay, you already are beautiful, but you're going to be even better. You're going to be even more beautiful, even more wise, even more amazing than you already are because of what you're going through. This can shape you into somebody amazing, somebody even better, somebody even stronger than you already are. You're becoming somebody even better. You're becoming a better version of yourself. And you have to know that. You have to know that you're not just going through these experiences for no reason. And I know that you already know that. You already know that. You just need to really believe it. And I'm here to give you that reassurance. I'm here to give you that validation that you are who you think you are. You are very powerful. You are very wise. You are very strong. You will get through this. It's only a matter of time before things change. And you are going through what you're going through for a reason. I promise you. And you're going to get through it. You are. And like I was saying, just look at this experience, whatever you're going through, your feelings, your emotions, whatever. This is a story. This is a chapter in your life. This is something that is beautiful. Yeah, it's painful. Yeah, it's annoying. Yeah, I know you probably don't want to be going through it, but it's something that is beautiful. And you're going to look back at this time in your life and you're going to see it as a super significant part in your life, as a beautiful journey in your life. There is something so beautiful about where you're at right now, the change that you're experiencing right now, the transformation that you're experiencing right now. It's beautiful. It's life-changing, okay? So don't take it lightly, okay? And don't make it this negative thing. It doesn't have to be a negative thing. Just because it feels like shit, just because you feel like shit, just because it's hard, it doesn't have to be a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. This is not a bad experience. Like overall, this is not a bad experience in the big grand scheme of things. It's not a bad thing that you're experiencing whatever you're experiencing. Okay, this is not something you need to worry about. You know, I know that you probably do worry. I know that it probably all sucks, but overall, this is something that you need to look at from the bigger point of view. Look at it from the observer's perspective. Look at it from the soul's perspective. Connect with yourself at this time right now and connect with God if you feel called to. Whatever that may mean for you. Okay, but I really hope that this video helped you guys. I'm gonna start trying to be more consistent on YouTube. So, you know, stay tuned for my next video. Go check me out on Instagram, on TikTok. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate you. And you will get through this, I promise. Okay, bye guys.